So how to use Tmux. Start with the basics, how to open Tmux. So Tmux, press enter, you're in. How to exit Tmux, exit. You can keep Tmux open in the background and it will keep running with your session open. So for example, let's say we are writing a document and we want to close the program. You can do Control B and D to detach and go back into Tmux at a later time. So let's open Tmux again and attach to the Tmux session, and it's still there. You can also split screens. So for example, if you want to do a vertical split, you can do Control B percentage. And now we've got two terminals. You can also do horizontal, Control B and quote. And you can see now we've got quite a collection of windows going on. So maybe we've got one program over here. We've got our document on the left. How did I switch between them? It was Control B and to the left and Control B down again. You might not be able to see on the video, but the border goes darker depending on the active one. You can also activate mouse mode, so you can click to make each window activated. I think that's, yes, Control B colon set mouse on. And now you can click between each window. So there we are, we're in that one. And I think we're still in, yep, now we're in that one. So let's keep going. Let's write a little simple Python program and see. So main.py, just for a test. Let's print hello. So to show the detach again, we will do Control B and I'm pressing D. So Tmux is gone, but it's still running in the background. If you did a PS, you'd be able to see that Tmux is still running in the background. So there's the process ID for Tmux, and you can still attach to it. This is very useful for if you're SSHing into a remote machine, because then you can go back onto it and Tmux attach back into that session that's still active. Okay, so we've done splitting, we've done horizontal, vertical splitting, we've done switching between windows. You can also select a window. I've forgotten the keyboard shortcut for that, but the Tmux documentation is very good. You can probably find that too. So we can maximize a window. So let's go to this window here and Control B Z. It will maximize the window. I think it's Z for zoom, but it feels more like a maximize to me. Okay, so we'll Control B and Z again to exit out of the zoom. And I'll show you the synchronization as well, because that's really quite cool. I'm just going to exit Vim, which is always a challenge. So let's go back to Vim. Where is Vim? Here we go. So we're exiting Vim. There we go. And I'm going to close off this window at the bottom. So now we've got two different windows. We can activate the synchronization by doing Control B colon, and we can say synchronize, set synchronize panes. So now all of the active window panes are in sync. So I'm typing clear, for example, and everything is in synchronize. This doesn't make much sense when you're on your local machine, but if you imagine, so I turn that off and say set synchronize, so it's a boolean, it's a toggle, you can turn it on and off. Imagine if you had machine A and on the right you had machine B and you're logged into both of them. You could then, after you've logged in, you could turn on your synchronized panes and both of the commands would get entered on multiple machines. And of course you might be logged into an embarrassing amount of systems at the same time. Obviously, as times move on, there are better tooling to do that sort of thing, like Ansible, Terraform, Pulumi, the list goes on. But the tools still have their place. Perhaps if you're deploying a Kubernetes cluster, the chicken and egg, that becomes useful to be able to administer systems ad hoc. But really, if you're managing multiple systems, think that there are different tools available. Okay, so Tmux entering. The importance of the Control B The control B might not be the same on your computer. You might have command B or a slightly different binding for the shortcut, but the concept is that you have to activate the mode for Tmux to receive the commands that you want to run. So for example, before I want to split a screen, initially I'm in the normal, obviously, terminal mode where I'm interacting with a bash shell. If I want to give Tmux commands instead of the shell, then it's a control B. Now Tmux is listening for the key shortcuts and I can do whatever I want. So let's split a window again, for example, shift percentage, and then we split that and control B and quotes again. So, and you can also move windows around. So let's say I want to move that window at the bottom up top. I think it's control B and curly bracket. There we go. And if I do that again, it's going to the left. If I go control B to the right, sorry, control B. There we go. So you can move windows around as well. And just to remind you, you can do zooming as well. So control B and Z, and control B Z to turn that off again. And to put the session in the background, control B D to detach, and it's still running. It's also still running if I close this terminal. If I open a new terminal, for example, I can do Tmux attach. It's still there too. This is also really fun for collaboration if two people are SSH onto the same machine, because you can Tmux attach. I think I'm right in saying, yes, you can Tmux attach in multiple screens. So if you're on an SSH session, you can then both be logged into the same Tmux session, and it's a very simple way of doing, I would say, pair programming. Like obviously you can use VS Code as your studio live coding and things like that. But if for whatever reason you are teaching Linux commands, programming, that sort of thing, scripting, it might be advantageous to have a system where you can log in interactively with someone and do a bit of pair programming in that way. All right, so that's the end of the summary of Tmux. Please give any feedback and any more shortcuts that you know and find useful on a daily basis. I know for me it can be quite hard to get the muscle memory to remember all of the commands. All right, thank you.